Alright, so we got the Alpha Legion is overpowered. So why are they useless? Wowzers. Other than that, let's go.
G'day guys and gal. The debate of which Space Marine Legion is the most powerful is a hot one.
So I don't know if you guys watched the videos yesterday, but if you watched the videos yesterday, I forget what video I did because I think I did like what 4 to 5 videos. I was saying that like we heard of the what's it called, Alpha Legion, but whatever. But like I'm just gonna keep it like completely real. We don't really know too much about them. I just gotta be real, but we got a video on them now, so let's go.
Some think it's the Ultramarines, others the Lunar Wolves. I think it's the Dark Angels. However, what a lot of us don't realize is that the most powerful Legion, or at least the Legion with the most potential, is actually the Alpha Legion.
Really?
They were probably the largest, had 2 Primarchs, obtained the blueprint to the Primarch project, were being sponsored by the most powerful conclave of Xenos in the galaxy, and had infiltrated pretty much every Legion and knew almost everything. So why, if they were so overpowered, did they do the least out of all the traitor legions during the Horus Heresy and beyond? And before you say it's because they were playing both sides, Alpharius was explicitly aiming for a dominant and decisive victory for Horus.
Okay, so this is the one that has the twins, right? This is the one that has the twins, and what? Okay, I remember these guys. Yep.
Before we get started, there's the
let's
Alpha
go.
Legion and their first Primarch Alpharius had a huge advantage over the other legions. That being, Alpharius was never scattered along with his Primarch brothers, but was instead raised by Malcador and the Emperor.
Isn't it Alpharius and Omega or something like that? How you say his name? Omega or Magus or something like that? It's something like that.
To be a master of infiltration
It's
and
something like that.
espionage. He had the unique opportunity to infiltrate and analyze nearly every single legion before knowledge of the Alpha Legion's existence was ever known. As such, the Alpha Legion had in-depth data regarding battle doctrine, strength, and weaknesses of the other legions. The Alpha Legion rarely ever conquered worlds, instead weakening them via sabotage and assassination, making them incredibly easy for follow-up legions to conquer, with that legion not even knowing that the Alpha Legion was there in the first place. This, combined with a pretty stable gene seed, meant that the Alpha Legion had a massive legion, arguably the largest, whilst employing the use of thousands of highly specialized mortal agents that were just as valuable, if not more so, than a Legionnaire. Meanwhile, none of the legions knew anything about the Alpha Legion beyond the obvious fact that they were a bunch of sneaky fucks. Then bam, a Megan is found, and now they have 2 Primarchs.
Megan, that's his name. And bro, having 2 Primarchs, bro, for like 1 Legion is nasty work. It's crazy work.
Each Alpha Legion Primarch wasn't like a half Primarch. They had all the physical and mental power of a normal Primarch, alongside the ability to give their blood to an Alpha Legionnaire, which would massively boost their intelligence and power, making them a demi-Primarch and the perfect double for either Alpharius or Megan. Both of them also had the psychic ability to impersonate others so accurately that even other Primarchs wouldn't be able to tell. Going back to the empowering of the Alpha Legionnaire via their blood, for context on
so we got Mr. Clean and Steve Wilkos just teaming up. Okay, I respect that.
How much of a power-up this provided,
respect.
Empowered Alpha Legionnaires gain the ability to take on multiple other Space Marines at the same time, being able to kill 4 or more without too much drama. The only reason why the twin Primarchs didn't just spam the shit out of this ability, after all it literally just required a bit of blood, was because the empowered Alpha Legionnaires also got access to the Primarchs' inner thoughts and memories, something that was pretty not a-okay for Alpharius or Megon. However, the numerous flaws within the Alpha Legion first started to show during the Horus Heresy. The Alpha Legion and Alpharius or Megon chose to join Horus.
Okay, that's what it is. I was like, yo, I was really about to ask, like, what side did they join? Were they like on the Imperium, or did they join Horus and the demons?
Despite the fact that they were actually both loyalist, or at least believed themselves to be. They joined Horus as they were told by the Cabal, a conclave of super Xenos from various races, that if Horus won a decisive victory, then he and the other traitor Primarchs would engage in a civil war that would decimate them all, leaving Chaos defeated and the galaxy empty for Xeno races to rise on the ashes of the now extinct humanity. But if the Emperor won, then the galaxy would stagnate and decay over 10,000 years, as Chaos grew more and more powerful before wiping everything out.
So basically, they were tricked, basically? Or they were told like something that wasn't true? Okay.
Alpharius believed that the Emperor's primary goal was the destruction of chaos at all costs, so he thought that the Emperor would actually want him to betray him. As we can see, Alpharius is a bit of a fucking retard, and incredibly arrogant to assume the thoughts of the Emperor. Another spanner in the works is that Amigan didn't actually agree with Alpharius, but since Alpharius was the dominant Primarch who directly controlled most of the Legion, like Amigan's existence wasn't even known by 99% of the Alpha Legion itself, he couldn't openly disagree or go against his brother.
I'm gonna keep it real, bro. Hey, maybe that's just me, bro. I mean, that's just, I don't want to, cuss too early on in the video, and I'm trying to, like, cuss less, because, I'm on my Holy Spirit, type, grind on right now. That's kind of B-word behavior, bro. The fact that you felt something, bro, and you were scared to even bring it up, like, man, bro, you might be wrong on this one. You was like, you know what, since you're the dominant guy, I'm gonna just go with you. I don't know, bro. That's a little, I don't know, bro. You didn't have the cojones, to really speak your opinion. I just feel like, if you would have spoke your opinion, then this whole thing could have been resolved. But no, you want to follow Lex Luthor. Here y'all go.
This is the pivotal factor that prevented the Alpha Legion from dumpstering
Lex
everything.
Luthor!
Some examples of Amigon thwarting Alpharius include when he directed an elite Alpha Legion strike team to attack an Alpha Legion outpost, destroying it and killing all the Alpha Legionnaires within it, which in turn then destroyed a device that was preventing the White Scars from hearing about the heresy. He then manipulated his legion so that they would antagonize the White Scars and help push them towards the Loyalist cause. This is why the Alpha Legion's loyalties are so confusing. Are they loyal? No, but kind of. The Alpha Legion wasn't told
It's like they kind of had, basically they weren't loyal, but they had the intentions of like staying loyal, basically. So, I mean, no, like, obviously their actions, because, actions and words are completely different. Their actions, no, they were not loyal at all. Those guys were menaces. But their intentions was, okay, cool, like, we're going to do this all for the good guys or whatever. Turns out, no. No, y'all were just completely dumb. Y'all misunderstood. Bro, y'all could have just asked the Emperor. Y'all could have asked anybody on like, the Imperium, bro. Bro, instead of, like, coming up with all these different type of, bro, this is how, like, I'm sorry, y'all. If there's some girls that's watching this, y'all, then, shout out to all, shout out to the lovely ladies out there. But this is how some girls think. They think, and bro, they don't even, like, listen, they don't even come to you. They don't even, like, try to fill themselves in on, like, if they don't know something. They just automatically assume. They just assume that, like, oh, you feel this way about them. And I'm like, yo, what do you mean? Like, well, I think that you think that I'm ugly. Bro, I never said that. Like, why would you even, what? And this is why, like, I canceled our date. Bro, I didn't even say that I thought you was ugly in the first place. Like, this is just, like, female thinking behavior. And I'm not like, no, oh, women this, women that, whatever. But at the same time, bro, if you ever been around girls, bro, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not like, no, and again, I'm not like no Tom Cruise, just I get all the girls with them. I'm just saying, like, bro, even your sister, your mom, every girl that you even know think like that. They automatically assume that, like, somebody think this about them when in reality they really don't. Okay, so
they joined Horus. They were just kind of told that was that. So a lot of them had their doubts about everything. Doubts that Amigan constantly exploited. As a side effect though, many Alpha Legionnaires embrace chaos, thus making them super difficult for Amigan to work with. This Alpha Legion self-sabotage and infighting is the key reason why they seem to never be able to make a lasting impact by themselves. But what about the Primarch project blueprint they stole from the Raven Guard? What became of it? For context, when the Raven Guard got absolutely sodomized on Isstvan, Corvus went to Terra and was given knowledge from the Emperor to be able to rapidly create new, more powerful Raven Guard. Basically, Primaris Raven Guard before Primaris was a thing. The Alpha Legion was told of this gift by their Xeno benefactors and endeavored to steal it for their own usage. They succeeded. However, the operation was led by Amigon, with him stealing the Primarch blueprint. However, his secondary mission to destroy all Raven Guard gene seed failed. Whether that was by his design is unclear. When Alpharius and Amigon returned to the War Master, they gave Fabius Bile a faulty replica of the project that the traitors would never be able to emulate, hence keeping the real prize to themselves. So, like, why doesn't the Alpha Legion have 10 million Primaris Alpha Legionnaires? Well, this is a bit of theory crafting, but Amigon was the one who retrieved the blueprint, not Alpharius. So who is to say if Amigon also gave his brother a faulty replica? Amigon also cut ties with the Cabal organization.
This is so, and bro, I said this before and I'll say it again, bro. This is Warhammer. Like, don't ever think that you'll come across that you'll come across like some people that are like, you know, truly trustworthy, whatever. If they're not G-Thug, if they're not Vulcan, bro, then everything else, bro, you got to think twice, bro. Because obviously, bro, if it's coming from G-Thug or Vulcan, bro, take it, bro. Like, especially if it's coming from Vulcan. And Vulcan's like, yo, eat this fruit, you'll get magical powers. Bro, I'm eating the fruit, bro. I'm eating the fruit, bro. Like I'm eating something else, bro. You know what I'm talking about. Bro, I'm devouring that fruit. But I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Like, if another dude that I'm cool with in Warhammer gives me a fruit, says, oh, yeah, bro, eat it. You'll get powers. And he's looking at me like, these? Yeah, eat it. Yeah, eat it. He's scratching himself and everything. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Like, that's the day where me and him might not be friends anymore, bro. It's Warhammer. I mean, bro, what are we expecting? Like, Warhammer, it's the bad of all bad. Like I said before, it is every single bad word in the dictionary. That's Warhammer. It is what it is.
Seemingly without his brother's permission, denying Alpharius from learning about other important future events. When Alpharius attacked Pluto, he did so without the support or reinforcement
Pluto?
of
Who's
Megon.
that?
Hence, when Alpharius came face to face with Rogal Dorn, he was doomed. Instead of withdrawing or surrendering, his arrogance, his fatal flaw, led him to believe that he could genuinely beat Dorn in a duel. Well, he fucking didn't, as Rogal Mortal Kombat fatality'd the shit out of Alpharius, killing the Primarch. And yes, Alpharius did die, it wasn't a decoy. Megon then withdrew the Alpha Legion from the heresy after permanently taking the mantle of sole Primarch of the Alpha Legion. This is why, despite their huge advantages and
Wait, so Alpharius got, he got handed the 5-knuckle shuffle? He got the beats handed to him? Wait, I didn't even know that. So wait, so is what's he called? Is Alpharius dead?
Size that they didn't end up being as effective in the heresy as they could have. Compare this to all the effort Perturabo put in, or Lorgar against the Ultramarines, and it's pretty wild. Their greatest achievement was preventing the Raven Guard from rebuilding their legion. At the end of the day, they were having a civil war. Alpha Legionnaires were killing Alpha Legionnaires, whilst the subtle manipulations by Megon stunted their full potential. If Megon was also a traitor, then the Raven Guard would likely be extinct. The White Scars never would have learnt of the heresy until it was too late, and Dorn may have been killed by the combined might of both Alpharius and Megon. All Megon would have needed to do is pose as a basic Alpha Legionnaire until Dorn arrived, and then just 2v1 him on Pluto.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro, these colors are nice. These colors right here are sick. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is hard. I like this a lot.
They would have been by far the most deadly and effective traitor legion because fundamentally, they were overpowered as fuck. What about post-heresy? After all, their legion probably suffered the lowest amount of casualties out of everyone.
Oh wait, are these guys
and also
dead?
Didn't flee to the Eye of Terror. Well, Megon faked his own death at the hands of Guilliman, causing the legion to break up into small war bands. Some had drunk the Chaos Kool-Aid and would serve the forces of Chaos without a secondary agenda. Some were just renegade, however others knew of Megon and the still loyalist intentions of their original purpose. Sometimes these loyalist Alpha Legionnaires travel to war zones with direct orders from Megon. Other times, Megon manipulates Chaos Alpha Legionnaire warbands into attacking a specific target, alerting Imperial defenders to their own weak points. The chief example of this was the Siege of Vrax, where the Imperium wasn't taking the siege seriously until Alpha Legionnaires randomly got involved, thus triggering an appropriate response. However, despite Megon's efforts, the Alpha Legion is still like 90% traitor, and continues to do a fuckload of damage to the Imperium, with Megon himself needing to cause superficial damage here and there to keep up with the
so ever since I'll probably say like what like the 7-minute mark, Majorkill just stopped saying Alpharius. Wasn't it Alpharius? He just stopped saying his name. I'm guessing he's dead. I'm guessing because I expected him to like, be revived back like his Dragon Ball. Turns out he's dead, bro. DED, dead.
He isn't turning the Alpha Legion into a force of the Imperium, he is just preventing it from absolutely annihilating the Emperor's domain. The proper reappearance of Megon is overdue. It would make a fucking fantastic book to see what he has been up to in recent times. In my opinion, the duality of the Alpha Legion is one of the most interesting aspects of 40k lore and needs a bit more time spent on it. A lot of what I've said today isn't gospel, just putting together information and conclusions based on evidence and data we have received. But with the amount of time I've spent on these boys, I'm pretty confident about it. So overall, it was Alpharius' arrogance as evident by him challenging Dorn directly and trying to play 4D chess with the Emperor without realizing the Emperor didn't give a fuck, as well as Megon's secret loyalty.
Bro, Alpharius really got the beats like that, bro. It's not funny because listen, we all lose. Nobody has ever listen. I don't ever want to hear like, oh boy, bro, I never lost a fight before. I'm undefeated like Floyd Mayweather. First of all, stop that. Everybody lost a fight before. I don't ever want to, like, you know, hear you guys come in here and act like y'all were like perfect. Y'all were like Bruce Lee in the streets. No, everybody lost a fight before, bro. Stop this whole, like, you know, oh, I'm him perfect act. No, bro. Everybody got the beats before. It is what it is. It happens. It's a part of life, bro. Even the greats lose.
Agenda that kneecap the hell out of the otherwise wildly overpowered Alpha Legion. If you enjoyed the video and you want to
shout out to Majorkill, man, for this one. Now, we actually know a little bit, you know, more about the Alpha Legion before. Turns out, bro, Alpharius is dead, bro. DED, gone. Which is really crazy, man. So now we just got Omega, whatever his name is. So now we just got him. I didn't even know that the Alpha Legion was actually like just traitor. So it turns out they're just like on the bad side. But it's just crazy how Alpharius thought he was him and challenged Rogal and got the beat and got the beats, the 5-knuckle shuffles of Doomerson. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel. Thank y'all so much for 8,000 subscribers, man. It's really crazy. I never thought I'd ever, you know, reach that, man. We are here. Y'all are still subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate that, y'all. And other than that, man, if you guys are new, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. And peace out, everybody.